The Power of Discipline by Daniel Walter is both a timely and timeless exploration of one of life's simplest yet most demanding truths: that real success rarely depends on talent or luck alone, but on the ability to do what must be done, even when we least feel like doing it. Walter doesn't just define discipline as a harsh set of rules or relentless self-denial. Rather, he reframes it as the conscious alignment of daily actions with long-term goals and deeper values, a practice that leads not to restriction but to freedom. At the heart of Walter's argument is the insight that while talent, intelligence, and passion all matter, they are never enough on their own. What truly separates those who succeed from those who merely wish is the quiet, stubborn consistency to keep going when motivation inevitably fades. Walter likens motivation to a spark, useful to get started but unreliable to keep a fire burning. Discipline, in contrast, is the slow, steady fuel that keeps that fire alive day after day through boredom, fatigue, and even failure. To understand why discipline matters so deeply, Walter explores the workings of our brains and the way they are wired for immediate gratification. From a purely biological standpoint, humans are built to seek pleasure and avoid discomfort as quickly as possible, a trait that once helped our ancestors survive, but that now can keep us from doing things that matter in the long run, like studying, saving money, or exercising. Walter uses the famous marshmallow test to illustrate this. Children who could wait to receive a larger reward later, rather than taking a smaller one immediately, often went on to achieve greater success in many areas of life decades afterward. This power to delay gratification, discipline in action, turns out to be a stronger predictor of future achievement than IQ, family background, or talent. Importantly, Walter rejects the myth that discipline is a rare gift given to a few naturally strong-willed people. Instead, he shows it as a skill anyone can develop through practice, much like building muscle. Neuroscience, he explains, reveals that each time we choose long-term goals over short-term comfort, we strengthen the neural pathways in our brains that support self-control, making it easier to choose wisely next time. Over weeks and months, these small choices add up, shaping not just what we do but who we become. Central to Walter's approach is the understanding that discipline thrives on habits and systems, not sheer force of will. Willpower alone, he says, is limited. It weakens under stress, fatigue, or even simple daily decision-making. By creating clear routines and automatic habits, we reduce the need to decide freshly every time whether to act. Whether it's preparing gym clothes the night before, writing at the same hour daily, or saving a fixed portion of income automatically, habits transform discipline from a daily battle into a quiet, sustainable practice. Rather than urging readers to make grand, sweeping changes, Walter emphasizes the power of small, consistent steps. A person who commits to reading 10 pages a day or writing 200 words daily may not seem impressive at first, but over months and years, those efforts compound into new knowledge, finished books, or transformed careers. This compounding effect of discipline, he argues, is often underestimated in a culture obsessed with dramatic overnight success. Walter also discusses the importance of aligning actions with identity. If you see yourself as someone who is disciplined, someone who keeps promises to yourself, then following through becomes part of who you are, not just something you force yourself to do. This internal shift from seeing discipline as an external rule to embracing it as a natural expression of your chosen identity makes it both easier and more meaningful to sustain. Yet discipline is never about perfection, Walter reminds us. Everyone slips. Even the most disciplined athletes, writers, or entrepreneurs have days when they skip practice, feel lazy, or lose focus. What matters isn't the occasional lapse, but the ability to start again without self-condemnation. Walter encourages cultivating self-compassion, recognizing that mistakes are part of growth, not proof of failure. This mindset turns discipline from a rigid standard into a flexible, resilient approach to life. Throughout the book, Walter offers practical tools to make discipline easier to build and maintain. He describes the value of setting specific plans. I will write at 8 a.m. every weekday, designing your environment to reduce temptations, and using reminders or rewards to reinforce habits. He also highlights the power of accountability, whether through sharing goals with friends, joining a group, or even using apps to track progress. One of Walter's most compelling ideas is the relationship between discipline and freedom. At first glance, discipline might seem like the opposite of freedom. After all, it involves structure, limits, and delayed gratification. But in practice, discipline liberates us. It frees us from the tyranny of fleeting moods and impulses. It lets us act according to our values rather than be driven by cravings or fears. In finances, discipline can free us from debt and stress. In health, it protects us from disease and regret. In work, it allows us to create, build, and master skills rather than drift aimlessly. Walter's message resonates especially powerfully in the modern world, where distractions are endless and temptations more immediate than ever. With every ping, click, and scroll, the digital environment is designed to capture attention and weaken self-control. Yet, as Walter points out, this makes discipline more essential, not less. Learning to pause, reflect, and choose deliberately in an age of instant everything is, perhaps, the defining skill of our time. Ultimately, the power of discipline isn't about living a cold, rigid life devoid of joy. It's about choosing your joys wisely, ensuring that the fleeting pleasures you sacrifice today help you build a deeper, longer-lasting fulfillment tomorrow. Walter's view of discipline is human, hopeful, and practical. A quiet skill available to anyone that turns dreams into reality not through a single burst of effort, but through countless small, conscious choices over time. In closing, Walter reminds us that discipline does not demand perfection, nor does it mean giving up all pleasure. Rather, it asks us to decide what we truly want from life, and then prove it each day with action even when it's hard. In this way, discipline becomes not just a path to success, but a way to live a life of integrity, purpose, and quiet strength. And in a noisy world full of empty promises of shortcuts and quick fixes, that, he argues, is a kind of power worth cultivating. If you'd like, I can also do the same for another book, create a visual mind map, or condense this into a shorter version. Just let me know.